Naveen is a father of 3 who runs 4 companies and has his own space program. How do his children live up to that?
My oldest, when he was very young, one day he came to me and said, "You know what, Dad? I'm going to make more money than you ever did." I actually sat him down and I said, surprising you think of success in that way. Success is not about how much money you're going to have. Success is about how many lives you'll be able to improve. And if you really want to be more successful than I am, go out and improve more people's lives than I'm able to do in my lifetime. And that's what's going to make me proud of you. And he said, "Whatever, Dad."
I was 6 years old when Dad started his first company. And at the age of 7, he was taking me on the road with him. And then when I got a little older, like 10, 11, he would start randomly throwing me on stage with him in the middle of a talk and be like, "Hey, why don't you come up and give your thoughts?" And you really had no choice but to get up there and say what you thought. So it was a really interesting way to learn by fire, right?
When he's 16, he calls me and he said, "Dad, I've been meeting lots of my friends who are at MIT and Harvard and Princeton. What if I brought the great mentors that you had for me, helping these young kids? If I could do that around the world, I'll be able to improve more people's life than you did. Would that make you proud?" And I said, "Yes." And guess what? That's when he started Kairos Society. And today it's world's largest entrepreneurial society.
America needs to reinvent our economy. We need to refocus our entire national efforts on young entrepreneurs. How can we be pioneers that move the world forward?
Naveen seems to be nurturing his children on a predetermined path to success. His 16-year-old son Neil is the youngest student ever to attend the Singularity University in the Silicon Valley.
Entrepreneurship, it's just kind of like a way of life, really. You can't turn it off.
And his 19-year-old daughter Priyanka, who is studying at Stanford University in California, is making her mark in the world of social philanthropy.
I've spent 18 years of my life taking for granted everything that I have. A great family, parents, mentors, an education, good health. Things that millions and millions of girls around the world live without.
My accomplishments in this world will never be measured by what I do. It will be actually measured by what our children are able to do.
Naveen's boys have flown in from California for a rare opportunity to hang out with their dad.
Well, there comes my rock star there, and he's on the phone. Being an entrepreneur is just a full-time job, 7 days a week, 24/7. All right, let's go. I love taking a speedboat out on a full throttle. Sometimes you just got to let the stress out.
Just want to give you a heads up that we pushed an updated build. It's, obviously it's still...
You want them to work hard, and sometimes you want them to just slow down a bit, but it's never a balance. He saw me do the same thing.
When the 3 of them get together, the conversation rarely strays from business and finding ways to change the world.
We always talking about business. Either he's talking about my business or I'm talking about his business.
If you're solving problems, you're doing good in the world. And if you're doing good and you're solving problems in the world, you're going to make a shit ton of money.
If you can solve a problem that affects 1 billion people, and even if you only got $1 out of each of those people, you'd still make $1 billion.
Without doubt, the kids are a chip off the old block. But is their entrepreneurialism purely down to their privileged upbringing, or is it in their blood? Maybe the answer lies in Naveen's past.
I grew up in India, and we were very, very poor. And we didn't have to be poor. My father had a pretty decent job in the government. He was a civil engineer, overseer, responsible for building government buildings. India is extremely corrupt society. My dad, in his humble wisdom, decided that he wants to be an honest man. He's just not going to take a bribe. Guess what happens? In government, you never get fired. You get transferred. Every 6-9 months, that son of a bitch has to go. He's not taking money. Find somebody who takes money. So we go to the most rural areas, and most of our education was done in places where there are no tables, no chairs, no whiteboard. You sat on the floor, you wrote on the floor. And despite all that, my sister went on to do a postdoctorate in applied mathematics. My brother has a PhD in computer science and a PhD in statistics, and I am the least educated person with a degree in engineering from IIT and MBA. That is the kind of value system that constantly governs my life. Always looking back and saying the humble background that you come from and how much you have achieved.
Michael Birch has his ambition